After spending years detained in Libya, these Cameroonian migrants have tasted freedom for the first time. But they still bear visible scars of the torture that many of them suffered, like Jean, who was struck with an iron bar by his captors.
Look at my head. You'll see the scar. That's where they hit me with an iron rod.
Having left Cameroon 8 months ago with the dream of arriving in Europe via the Mediterranean, Jean came to be a victim of a well-organized human trafficking syndicate in Libya. He says he was sold 4 times and that slave traders bought him for between 400 and 500 euros.
He took me and he went to sell me in another part of town. We were brought to Brac to work. We were slaves to a whole neighborhood. They didn't ask us whether we were hungry or thirsty. They didn't ask us anything. When we would remove weeds in peanut fields, we worked without getting up. 2 people died right in front of me. The captors would hit someone, the person would cry out, and then they would die.
These terrible living conditions convinced Jean and 249 other Cameroonian migrants to leave Libya. They returned to Yaoundé on Tuesday night by a special flight chartered by the government and the International Organization for Migration. After touching down, they are still haunted by the nightmare of having lost everything in Libya. This father's relieved to return to Cameroon with his family after having paid a $6,000 ransom. Other migrants have not been so lucky and are still being held hostage in detention centres.
We have brothers who are still imprisoned over there. When they kidnap you, they beat you and torture you. If we hadn't given them money, they would have cut us up and left us in the desert.
This migrant is one of more than 100 women who was captured pregnant. She was saved after her family paid a ransom. According to her, captors are more violent with the darker-skinned migrants.
Black skin is a commodity in Libya. We're sold at cheap prices like chickens. I was sold, and I was still pregnant at the time. I was sold for around 1 million CFA francs. If I'd given birth in prison, I would have been sold for 1.5 million.
Hundreds of Cameroonians are still in Libya, and according to the UN, nearly 390,000 migrants from 40 different countries remain trapped there.